We have all been there. I mean, truly. Stuck in some kind of loop, knowing deep down we need to change, but for some reason we just can't seem to make the leap. It is so frustrating, right? And it feels like some kind of personal failing. But what if it's not about you failing at all? What if it's just your brain doing exactly the job it was built to do? Let's get into that.
I mean, really think about it. It is one of the weirdest parts of being human. You can literally see a better path. You know for a fact that the one you're on is causing you pain, and yet you stay put. The answer has so little to do with willpower and everything to do with a fundamental misunderstanding of what our brains actually care about.
And boom, here it is. This is the absolute core of the whole thing. We think our brain's main mission is to make us happy, but nope, that's not its top priority. Its number one job, the one that's been hardwired into it for thousands and thousands of years, is to keep us safe. And how the brain defines safety is the key that unlocks this whole paradox.
Okay, so this is where we have to completely change how we think about a word. For your brain, deep down in its most ancient parts, safety doesn't mean happy. It doesn't mean comfortable or joyful. It just means predictable. It means familiar. Your brain just wants to know what's coming next, even if what's coming next is something you really don't like.
Think of it like a movie script. For any long-term, unhealthy pattern you're in, your brain has read that script 1,000 times. It knows all the characters, it knows every line of dialogue, it knows the plot twists, and it knows exactly how the scene is gonna end. There are zero surprises.
And you see this play out everywhere in life. In that difficult relationship, you know exactly what button to push to start a fight. At that soul-crushing job, you can predict the exact meeting that will drain all your energy. With that unhelpful habit, you know the trigger and you know the outcome. It's a painful script, for sure. But the key is, it's a known script.
Now let's flip it. Healthy change? Well, that's a brand new script that hasn't even been written yet. A new job, a healthier way of relating to someone, a new habit, it's all just a big blank page. It's full of uncertainty. And to your brain, uncertainty sets off all the alarms. It's like flashing red lights that spell out one word: risk.
So this right here, this is the internal logic. This is the subconscious math your brain is doing every single time you think about making a big positive change. It's not actually choosing pain over happiness. It's choosing the predictable over the unknown. It's choosing safety.
This brings us to a really important question. Because when we do manage to push ourselves a little, we're hit with that feeling, right? That discomfort. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's a little bit of panic. Our gut reaction is to see that feeling as a stop sign, a signal to turn back immediately. But what if we've been reading that signal wrong this whole time? Just let that first part hang in the air for a second. That friction you feel when you're trying something new. That feeling of being a little off balance, maybe even a little scared. It is a universal, unavoidable part of getting better. And here is the total game changer. That discomfort is not a warning sign that you're making a huge mistake. It is simply the physical sensation of your brain running into a script it has never seen before. It's just your system going, whoa, hold on, I don't recognize this, this is new.
So let's redefine this word too. Discomfort is not always a red flag telling you to run away. In fact, when you are intentionally trying to grow, discomfort is very often just the feeling of your world getting bigger. It's the feeling of expansion itself.
Now, here's the tricky part. Just knowing this in your head isn't always enough to stop that deep biological alarm system. Your nervous system operates on a much more primal level, and its bells are ringing. It needs to be gently, and I mean gently, convinced that this new unfamiliar place is actually safe.
So how in the world do we actually move forward? Well, it's not about brute force. It's about working with your own biology. So first, just acknowledge the feeling. Say, okay, I'm feeling discomfort right now, and that's it. No judgment. Second, you actively reassure yourself. You can literally say out loud, this feels unfamiliar, but it is not unsafe. And third, you take one tiny, small step. You prove to your nervous system through a tiny action that this new script is survivable.
So, the next time you feel that resistance to making a healthy change, the next time that feeling of discomfort bubbles up, I want you to leave with this question. What if you're not actually hitting a wall that's meant to stop you? What if you've just walked up to a doorway inviting you to step through? That feeling, it isn't a signal to retreat. It's the sound of you about to grow.